Here with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, I got one question, man. How'd you do it? This is like the Avengers teaming up together.
I know, yeah. I can't take the credit. I've got to give it to His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. You know, Riyadh season card comes to the US with a culmination again of all the promoters working together. You know, we've seen it in Riyadh, in the UK, and now you're seeing it in the US. You have to understand a lot of these fights got made in the last 24, 48 hours. I've never seen speed like it across fights. And also, these fights are fights that His Excellency requested. Not, you know, we all push fights to him, all promotional companies. But I'll give a good example. Tim Tszyu against Virgil Ortiz. That's his fight. Like when he mentioned that fight, you know, myself and Louis de Cubas have been at, you know, these last couple of days getting fights made. We were like, what fight? But no, you know, he chose that fight. And I think it's one of the best fights in the sport, you know, so he knows what he's doing. And now we've seen all these incredible fights in Riyadh. Now they're coming to the US with what I think is the card of the year.
Just real quick on that one, who would you favor in that one, Tszyu and Virgil Ortiz?
I mean, not my guys, you know. I really like Tim Tszyu. I think he's a really entertaining fighter. And I think Virgil Ortiz is a brilliant fighter. You know, he struggled with a little bit of momentum, you know, with the illnesses and the injuries and the missed weight. But he's fighting this Saturday. I think that's really going to help him go into August 3rd. I just favour Virgil Ortiz in a 50-50 fight. Being in Los Angeles, you know, he's going to have huge support there as well. But Tim can really fight, and he's brilliant to watch.
Gotcha. Can I get your thoughts on it? Did you happen to see Bill Haney and...
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I couldn't quite understand what the argument was about. You know, there was a lot of talking over each other, but...
Just what was your thoughts on that whole thing, man?
I mean, good for boxing, I suppose, isn't it? I mean, you got the TBE against, you know, the Haneys. I don't know. I don't really know what the beef is. I'm sure it goes back a little bit over time, but yeah, it's all good. It's all good for boxing.
Obviously, you have your guy, Ennis. He's coming back in July against Cody Crowley. We have Terence Crawford right here. His Excellency said that he wants to make that fight. Is it more than likely that fight would happen?
Well, no, because my man here is going to derail the plans, you know. Honestly, don't bet against Israel Madrimov. Like, this is a very tough fight. I think this could be the toughest fight of Terence Crawford's career so far. Because this is a young world champion, a strong world champion, a prime world champion. But look, you know, His Excellency's obviously taken a shine to Terence Crawford. He's also taken a shine to Ennis because he knows his boxing and he knows how good those guys are. So, you know, for me, that's one of the biggest and best fights in the sport. But let's see Madrimov against Crawford first. Let's see Boots, hopefully against Crowley. And we'll see what happens as the year progresses.
Last week you shocked the world, you know, dropped a bomb, signed Ennis. Now we're looking at, what you said, first couple weeks in July, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
How were you feeling after winning the Cody Crowley person?
Yeah, it was important. You know, I mean, we hoped that we'd reach a deal. Myself and Louis de Cubas were trying to get a deal done before the purse bids. We couldn't, so we had to be aggressive because we know what we'd already offered Crowley and we know what we're paying Boots. So we got it done. I just hope they accept the fight and we just move forward now. Let's get the fight announced, let's sell this place out, and let's give Boots the homecoming in Philadelphia that he deserves.
Now, the WBC ordered Soli Francisco and Cody Crowley. That what the person did, right? If Cody Crowley doesn't accept the fight, do you have, like, you know, next to
Yeah, we do. We have fighters ready to take the fight, so we just want to know. You know, Crowley's going to get a lot less money to fight Sissoko in France, and he's going to fight for the world title if he fights Boots. But listen, it's up to them. We just want to know.
Don't want to be disrespectful to Madrimov or Cody Crowley. Yeah. But, you know, we live in a world where everybody wants to hear your opinion on stuff. So let's just say both favorites, Crawford and Boots, come through those fights. Do you think that fight will happen? And if it does, who do you favor?
I think the fight's inevitable, to be honest with you, in time. But that's going to be down to His Excellency. Going to say Boots, obviously, because he's my guy. But look, they're two generational greats. Terence has proved it. Boots is on the way to proving it. He's still got a lot of work to do. It's all very well me saying this, that. He's got to do what Terence has done. But I believe he can do it, and I think those two is, you know, probably the best fight you can make in the sport.
And just last question, do you see Boots moving up to 154
Yes,
pounds?
he told me he can move to 68. I mean, he's a huge welterweight if you stand next to him, you know. But let's win these belts at 47 and move to 54.
Gotcha. What's the plan as far as his next fight?
Who's that?
Of course, you got Stanionis. You got
Yeah, one of those guys,
Mayweather.
Stanionis, Barrios. I'd love to see him unify, get through the show in July, and then straight into that.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
appreciate it.